Welcome to another episode of the Miles Offside podcast, where we talk a little bit of football and a whole lot of nonsense. My name is Oscar Puente, also known as Footy From Afar, and with me, as always, are my co-hosts Chuck Bailey and super producer Ian Stimpson. How do, lads?
Ian's the happiest man in town.
What's this? Okay.
Right, can we just loop that for the next hour and we're done?
So, yeah, we won't lose any listeners that way. Is that an English thing? Am I just missing something here, or...?
That's a very English thing.
Okay, cool. Do you want to explain what the hell that was for the American listeners, or...?
Just the Laughing Policeman, innit?
Oh, the Laughing Policeman. Okay.
It's a song, and I've checked, it is public domain, as it is 98 years old, so we're covered, Ian, you're welcome.
All right, so it's about as old as Ian.
Yeah, So I figured just loop that, and that does us for Liverpool and Brighton this week.
I see.
Done. Strap in this week, boys. You're going to have to take your fucking medicine.
Yes, because we're usually so nice to those supporter groups.
Yeah, and if you think we're talking about Newcastle Burnley this week, you can get to fuck.
But I have notes. I have pages of notes on Newcastle Burnley. You mean I wasted time taking those?
Pop it in my pigeonhole, mate.
That's for part 2. That's the Patreon stuff.
In a bin. Any bin.
Yep. Thank you for joining us. If you are joining us for the first time, we are nominally a Premier League podcast, but as you will shortly see, we talk a whole lot of nonsense, and some fantasy, and some listener stuff and jokes and whatnot. Lots of stuff about socks, but also, if you are coming back, thank you for coming back. We love you. We are happy to have you always.
In our lives.
And our hearts.
All right, well, let's get right to it then, because there's quite a bit of stories this week to talk about. So we'll start off, as we always do, with our rapid fire news. First story this week. Gentlemen, an Arsenal Hall of Fame to be announced in March. Oh, wait, no, sorry, I misread that. It's the Premier League Hall of Fame. First inductees to be announced in March. The Premier League is launching a Hall of Fame. 2 players will be inducted initially alongside a short list of nominees for future inclusion, voted for by fans.
Oh, I see why you got confused there that it's the Arsenal Hall of Fame. So,
well, it will be, yeah, basically.
Arsenal and Man United, and that's about it.
Yeah, they love themselves a Twitter poll.
Yeah, whenever there's anything on Twitter or online, the Arsenal media machine, and by media I mean little pleb idiots online, they just go fucking mental for it, don't they?
I'm pretty sure Adam would have started listening this week and thought, Arsenal didn't play, so, they can't take the piss. Oh, first item, here we go.
Did Arsenal not play?
They did not play this week, no. Still managed to get in a dig. Good work, Oscar.
Well, there's more to come too, I'm sure. That's how irrelevant they are. I actually forgot that they hadn't played. So, but let's talk about this Hall of Fame though. So, obviously, other than Arsenal McArsenal face, who's going to be inducted in those first 2? Who would you put? Let's start with Ian. Who are you going to put for your first 2 in there?
I probably, having said what I just said a minute ago, would put Thierry Henry in there.
Okay.
I think, and I'm not just going to name Arsenal players, but I think. Yeah, he was something else to watch. I enjoyed. I mean, that was my sort of peak pub football watching the Arsenal team with Thierry Henry in it, and any Man United Arsenal game of that era would always be a fucking tear up, and I'd absolutely love it. But yeah, Thierry Henry was something else. His goal scoring record is unbelievable. So having slagged them off, I'd immediately go for an Arsenal player.
All right, and who's your second?
Well, I don't want to steal him off you, really, but I think probably Frank's got to go in there as well, to be honest.
Hey! Wow, I really thought I was going to be the only one who said that.
No, I think Frank's. I think that's fair, to be honest. I always preferred him to Gerrard anyway. I just think he was a more intelligent footballer.
That's just because categorically he was better.
Well, yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and he's like 5th all-time for goals and 4th or 3rd all-time for assists. So, like, if you're in the top 5 for those both categories, like, to me, that's first ballot, like one of the first 2 in right away.
And he's the reason we have goal line technology.
Yeah,
also
exactly.
That. Yeah, they can have a little plaque next with a picture of that.
And, I mean, he was fantasy gold for years. Absolute fantasy gold. You had to have him.
I wasn't playing yet back then. I think my first season would have been like 2011 or 2012. And 2010 must have been just like an amazing year for him because he had
Must own, yeah.
just like 20 goals and 20 assists, I think, that year. All right, what about you, Chuck? Who are your two?
After slagging off Man United, Ryan Giggs.
Oh, give it Giggsy.
Give it Giggsy. Man's won the most Premier League titles, makes sense. And has about 850 appearances or something stupid. And the man himself, Alan Shearer.
Yeah, oh God, that's a good shout, yeah.
Most goals, most trophies, done. Finn, out.
Not bad, not bad. I never saw him play. But from everything I've heard from everyone ever, it would be insane not to put Alan Shearer in.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to give that spot just sort of conceding to the powers that be in that.
Alan Shearer was like, he had similar injury problems to Harry Kane, right? But it's like if Harry Kane had the injuries, like now, and was still banging in 20-something goals a season. Easily.
Nice. He played for Newcastle, right?
Blackburn, Newcastle. Well, Southampton, Blackburn, Newcastle.
Yeah.
Oof. Those are not teams you would want to play for today.
It felt like Alan Shearer was like, when Vardy's top of his game, Alan Shearer was like that all the time.
So was he fast?
Yeah.
Was he skilled? Was he strong?
I think just a hell of an eye for goal. He was one of those strikers that would, if you want to go down a sort of stats route, he wouldn't need the XG or whatever to score a goal. Like he just had a very good eye for goal.
Yeah, he was very fast, but had to modify his game due to the injuries. But Ian's nailed it. He would just score any type of goal whenever. It didn't matter. Didn't matter if it was scrappy, with the head, left foot, right foot.
Nice. All right. Well, it sounds like there's 2 votes for Shearer and 2 votes for Frank. So that basically is who we're putting in. So let's move on to the next story then. Let's see. What do we want to do next? Let's do a really, really sad one for Chelsea. FIFA has announced that there will be new regulations on the amount of players that clubs can loan going into effect next fucking season. FIFA has proposed new regulations that would mean clubs could only have 8 fucking loan deals per season, both in and out of the club.
You mean Chelsea will actually have to play their players? What does this mean for Lucas Piazon?
Is the question on everyone's lips.
Yeah, we're finally going to have to sell him.
The guy's still on the Chelsea books. It's been like 12 years. Move on.
My FIFA career mode is going to be very realistic going into next year because the first thing I do is just mark like 40 players for sale when I come in.
Sell.
2 seasons ago, we had 49 players out on loan. Jeez. That's not even out ended. That's out.
Oh, Chuck spit take. There we go.
I even knew that was a thing and spoke to you about it this week. But it still makes me laugh. 2 squads worth of players on loan.
Yeah. We had 49. Now it's 28. And then next year, I guess it's going to have to be 8. So fire sale on our old Chelsea players. Get them while they're hot.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of players out of contract when they get released and paid off.
Absolutely. Hopefully Ross Barkley can be one of them. I started a new career mode, and I didn't even transfer him. I just released him from his contract, so he doesn't play for anybody anymore. Fuck off. It does say that it's for international loans, so I don't know if there are going to be any regulations about domestic stuff. I haven't heard anything about that.
And you've already closed the news tab, so you can't check anymore?
No, I did not. I kept it open. It says that individual leagues would be given 3 years to implement similar rules for domestic loan deals. So I guess they're saying you have to. But apparently the Premier League states that clubs may not register more than 2 players on loan at any one time anyway.
Domestically,
yes. So that's insane. Next story, Manchester City appeal against their European ban registered by the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Man City's appeal against their 2-year ban has been registered. The Premier League champions were also fined €30 million. City chief executive said that the breaches are, quote, simply not true.
Yeah.
And close that tab. Let's make jokes about he thinks it's not true. Like, what do you even do to that?
Move on.
Yeah,
Done.
Yeah, we'll all find out very, very soon, won't we?
Yeah. Do we think that it'll be a successful appeal? Do we think that they'll get it pushed back while it's being heard?
Chuck doesn't think it's going to happen.
It's not happening. Ban's not happening.
No, none whatsoever.
Doesn't matter anyway. Coronavirus comes in, no competition.
Job done.
Well, speaking of coronavirus, our next story. Juve and Inter Milan among 5 Serie A matches postponed. Matches at Udinese, AC Milan, Parma, and Sassuolo have also fallen victim to the outbreak of the virus in Italy. The games were initially going to be played behind closed doors, but Serie A took the decision on Saturday morning to call them off entirely. All 5 fixtures have been rescheduled for Wednesday, the 13th of May. As a consequence, the Coppa Italia final, which was scheduled for the same day, has been moved to the following week, etc., etc., etc. How's everything over there with regards to coronavirus? Are people flipping out?
People are flipping out. And
Are we?
Yeah, I think I've seen about, like, both mine and Kel's companies that we work for have sent numerous emails about coronavirus and stuff. And it's just like, calm the fuck down. Also, I work in a news organisation which is ramping it up for no good reason. But yeah.
Have you started pre-recording any obituaries?
We do that all the time. Virus? We do that all the time anyway. Have I told you about the time we were rehearsing Prince Philip dying? And the cleaner came in the room and dropped the bin in shock that Prince Philip might have died.
Didn't Parliament tell you guys not to travel? I remember reading that in passing on Twitter, which could have been just totally
No. There's no travel things yet.
No one's telling me nothing.
Well, they didn't put a ban in, but they were like, we strongly advise you to not go anywhere.
That's just Brexit because they don't want people to see how good it is outside. Like, no, don't go.
We're just not allowed.
Go, stay.
No, there's no travel bans yet. It is a strong advice to not travel to China and, Hong Kong, I think, and other places, but there's no official advice. And this is all partly my fault because I'm going to Northern Italy in 5 weeks, so I should never have booked.
Well, allegedly. Maybe not.
This is literally my fault. I love a cancelled holiday.
Right, because last time you tried to fly somewhere, wasn't there a volcanic eruption that stopped you?
That wasn't me. I was on the plane to go to Prague, and that was cancelled because of the weather. I booked a holiday to Cyprus with Thomas Cook, and that was cancelled because they went under.
They went, bye!
Yeah. And now this. I've got it's literally just 2 days in Northern Italy, and some towns are on lockdown, and you can't get in or out. So,
well, you won't have to wait for any restaurants, right? You get right in.
Well, I mean, you'll have to wait for staff.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't not feel like the first 20 minutes of Shaun of the Dead. I'm just saying.
That's true, yeah. Yeah.
The news stories feel eerily similar. We're all like, it's fine. Oh, I was looking at the data and it's fully just straight up exponential growth. I could put an equation to it. It's perfect fit, which is very scary, but whatever, it's fine.
I'm all ready for the zombie apocalypse. Let's go.
Yeah, I've been training.
My only worry is that because it's Europe now and it's travelling everywhere, that Euro 2020 is cancelled, and that would be a shame.
Oh, because it was coming home as well.
It was coming home. Now, if we were hosting the final, does that just automatically mean we win?
Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah? No, I think so, Ian thinks so, and you don't, so that's 2-1, so...
And democracy's always right.
Look, I just hope that the coronavirus gets bad enough that Liverpool can't actually get their title.
I mean, look, I've been the one sort of person on this podcast going, come on, it's good to see, it's fine. I don't necessarily hate Liverpool. This is good to see such a crazy run. I would love it if coronavirus, cancelled this Premier League season just because the slip and everything, and then just something so cataclysmic on the one season that they're absolutely running away with it. That would be beautiful chaos.
Oh, they right? I mean, pretty sure they got destroyed this weekend.
Save it. We'll get to that.
For what? We're there.
So I guess official stance of the podcast is that we are pro-coronavirus.
That seems to be the case, yeah.
Yeah, so let's just move on from that. Chuck, you'll really like this one. Neymar, the PSG forward, can go to the Rio Carnival after all. Neymar is once again free for carnival selection due to the conspiracy theories. Neymar posted on Instagram on Friday, this is Friday last week?
Yep.
This year that he would repeat not be attending. But then he proceeded to get a second yellow card, get himself sent off in the 92nd minute, meaning that he will now be suspended and be able to attend the festival. Let's see, in 2015 he was suspended for Barcelona, also around his sister's birthday. 2016 suspended. 2017 muscle issue that saw him ruled out for his sister's birthday and the festival. 2018 and 19 he was at home recovering from metatarsal injuries, and etc. BBC did throw in that, however, we are not for one moment suggesting that Neymar purposely got himself sidelined so that he could attend the carnival.
That's not the whole existence of the story is framed around that, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he did samba off of the pitch as he did it. And I'm pretty sure there were beads being thrown down to him as well. At what point does a conspiracy theory just become written
Truth.
fact?
Yeah.
6 years on the bounce?
I think it should be. I think that's just evidence, isn't it?
Well, keep your eyes out for him smashing Mummy.
Oh. I know, it's like, no.
Look, he put it out there. It's not Chuck's fault.
He smashed his Mummy.
Yeah, well, so we got Neymar, we got Flat Earth, and we got the moon landing was a hoax. Any other ones that are like definitively true and no longer just theories? Or?
Australia's still not real.
Well, that's part of Flat Earth. We all agree with that, obviously. Dave, you're just an actor. You're probably in Kansas somewhere. Stop pretending. What is that accent? All right, well, that should do it for the news stories then. So let's get to the fixtures, because there's some fun fixtures this week. You guys ready to jump in?
Yeah, indeed. I mean, let's pull out a listener question from my hole a little bit early.
An early release from Ian's hole.
An early release, indeed. Alex Sampson got in touch. As you all hate Liverpool and Arsenal, are you happy Liverpool didn't beat Arsenal's run of unbeaten games? So he's talking about the invincible season, obviously. Are we happy that Liverpool haven't achieved that?
I mean...
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Chuck literally started with the laughing policeman, so...
Absolutely, yeah. I hate Liverpool way more than I hate Arsenal. Arsenal are funny to laugh at, but, like, they haven't been an elite team this entire time that I've been watching the Premier League. Like, the last time they won a title was 2004. I started watching in 2005.
Oof.
It's been 16 years since they were at the same, like, high level, whereas Liverpool have been in and around the conversation.
Wait, they didn't get... I'm pretty sure they were playing for a fourth place trophy every year. Is that not a thing that they didn't win that a lot?
I tweeted their places and it was like third, fourth, third, fourth, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and now in 10th. So like they've had one second place finish, and the second place finish was Leicester's year. So no, I'm like, Arsenal are a fucking joke. They're not like actually, like, I laugh at them, but I don't have a passion for hating them the way I do Liverpool. I fucking hate Liverpool.
How have we got
much.
this perfect opportunity to laugh at Liverpool and we're digging so far into Arsenal? Because they were shit.
They were dog shit. They were absolutely dog shit.
Awful everywhere.
Chuck, do you want to guess their XG?
Fuck all. There was one in front of the box scramble, and there was one speculative shot from Lallana which came off the post in the match. Like, that was it. That was what the entire highlight package had of Liverpool.
So what do you think that adds up to?
I don't know, like 0.1.
Point two. Yeah, 0.2. The XG on that one was 2.7 to 0.2 by Understats model. There are different models that have different numbers, but they were all in and around that range. So 3-0 is not at all, like, that's exactly what it fucking came down to. Like, they got fucking wrecked.
Off the back of 29% possession for Watford.
I told you, Oscar, possession football is dead.
Losing De La Feo to a horrific knee pop that you could feel through the screen, like that was very much the car slowing down for the car crash moment. Watching that, like, I didn't want to, but just hopefully he gets a speedy recovery, because he looked electric for the first part and when he was in
our preseason fantasy sleeper pick, De La Feo.
Was he?
Yeah. Remember, I was like, I ran the numbers on last season, and I was like, he's actually the best value player. And then he didn't do shit for like 2 months.
No,
fair enough.
He's mercurial is the adjective, which means he does fuck all for ages. But yeah, like, credit to Watford, they made the most of it, and I'm pretty sure now. I'm not going to say it's exclusively that Dejan Lovren was back in the team, but I'm going to say like 75% of it was that Dejan Lovren was back in the team, because Troy Deeney must have seen the team sheet and just thought, wicked, this is going to be a good day, and lo and behold.
Yeah, man, I don't know what happened to them. Like,
they were all crap. They
couldn't create anything.
Trent, awful.
Yep.
Like, he's not a good defender anyway. He gets away with it because they have a very good defensive midfield.
Right. He's basically a central mid playing at right back.
You know, not having player of the season Jordan Henderson in there fucks you up, right? So Trent Alexander-Arnold, awful. Van Dijk was crap. Lovren was woeful, and Robertson didn't really defend anyway. So you got those four. Ismail Assar was immense.
Yep.
Immense. And should have had a hat-trick. And could have had more goals. It was lovely to watch.
Ian, you
29% possession.
The 0.2 XG is so great. Like, because I've spent all season being like, they overperform, they're so annoying, they're not actually the best team, whatever. But like, Point two, they're a much, much better team than that. Like, it was crazy to watch. Like, they just all at the same time had an off day, and it was fucking delightful because I'm so glad that I don't have to spend the rest of my fucking life hearing Liverpool, Invincibles, Liverpool, the greatest team of all. Like, fuck off.
The
I'm
unbearables.
so happy. Ian, you don't hate them as much as the two of us, right? So, like, where are you at on this?
I'm really genuinely between two things here because I wouldn't have necessarily minded seeing an Invincible season as impressive as it looked like it was going to be. And also, props to Match of the Day for not cutting out the commentator saying beforehand. And it very much looks like Liverpool are going to continue that run today because usually they cut that shit out and they didn't. They left it in just to embarrass him, which I enjoyed. But I am here for it being ended so spectacularly. I mean, Watford 19th, or were.
They were 19th. They're now out of the relegation zone for the first time in, I'm going to say, 4 months.
Yeah. So they
probably longer, actually. Probably about 6 months.
Yeah. So they were 19th. To see them end it 3-0 and not, like you say, not stealing a win, absolutely earning a win.
That was
spectacular.
crushing.
Yeah, it was spectacular. So I'm perfectly happy for it to be ended in that sort of style. I thought Liverpool were properly complacent with this one.
Absolutely. I think the only way that it could have been more enjoyable for it to end was if they got, like, really severely burn lead. But, like, this is a pretty good alternative, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like it was a close match and they just...
I think this is actually better.
I think I prefer this.
This feels better.
Nah, for the lulz, man. Imagine if it was like the other XG, like they had the 2.8 and Watford had 0.2, but they lost like 1-0 to an own goal in the 93rd minute.
Nah.
You know what I mean? Like Watford doesn't even get a shot off, but they just get an own goal.
The most shithouse team in the league, apart from maybe Burnley, not shithousing a win, is just fantastic. Like,
thoroughly
that
enjoyable.
amount of XG and those good chances. I mean, there must have been something in the air this week because watching through most of the football, there's not really much to talk about. I mean, there will be a half an hour section about Jordan Ayew being the greatest player in the world in a little bit. But on Friday Night Football, you had Norwich beating Leicester.
Yep. Cue the jingle real quick.
Oh, they're better than they ought to be.
Burnley of the week.
Burnley of the week. Yeah, we had 1-0 to Norwich on 0.6 to Leicester's 1.5. So thoroughly undeserved.
And Brendan Rodgers claiming after Iheanacho's goal was disallowed because it hit his hand, well, I'm not really sure what the ruling on that it should be. He's like, yes, you do. There's been enough discussions about VAR this season and handballs. Pretty sure you've been involved in some of them, Brendan.
Well, if you were doing that interview, would you not be able to stop yourself going, well, it's handball, Brendan? I don't really understand what he's getting at there, but yeah.
That's what losing to Norwich on a Friday night will do to you.
Norwich beat Leicester.
Norwich is staying up. That's it. It's happening.
It's on. It's fully on.
Yeah, fuck yeah, right. God, what are they at? They're 92% to go down, so I strongly doubt that'll happen.
They're only 6 points off. There is a mire of because, you know, we say this, right? So this week you had Norwich beat Leicester, which is 20th versus 3rd. You had Watford beat Liverpool, which is 19th against 1st. Bournemouth just always do well against Chelsea now. That's just it.
Yep.
Newcastle, Burnley... Actually, edit that bit out. I said we weren't going to mention them. Fuck them. West Ham getting a win, and all the teams higher up in the table just drawing or not really doing much.
But that's like basic probabilities, though. Like if they were in 18th and 6 point behind, sure, that's highly doable. But they'd have to catch 3 teams from like a lot of points behind.
But look at the teams.
Yeah, but not all of them are going to slip up at the same time as each other. Like, it's just very unlikely that they'll be able to... They might end 17th. Or, no, wait, that would get them up. They might end, like, 19th or 18th. But they will... It's very, very hard to catch that many teams.
I mean, Newcastle, 3 points out of 5 games. Brighton, 3 points out of 5 games. West Ham,
the teams are all
4
crap,
points out
but
of 5
they'll
games.
stumble into some points. Like, one of them will stumble into points.
Believe! Get Norwich up there.
I will say from the Leicester perspective of this, it was nice to see them underperform for once because they've been overperforming all fucking season. So like,
No, Vardy.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
Anything about Chelsea? No? You want to talk about that? You want to talk about how Marcus Alonso somehow isn't still a winger? He's not a fucking defender.
He doesn't seem to know that the way he plays, but no, I mean, what? He is, I think, one of the best left wing backs in the world. So since we switched to the back three again, he's been shining. He's a horrible, horrible left back, but he is like truly a specialist and fantastic left wing back, right? But other than that, I mean, I just wanted Ruben to play. He didn't, so there wasn't much going on there. It's annoying that Bournemouth drew with us, but we didn't even really get paid, we didn't get punished for it, right? By the chasing teams. Yet again.
No, that's true.
We keep dropping points, and then they also drop points the same weekend as us. So
such a cavalcade of shit.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just waiting for Ruben and Pulisic to come back in, because Chelsea are still 68% to go, into Champions League. And it's the same stories over and over again. We have a lot of injuries. We'll be better, hopefully, once those injuries come back, once Conte is back, once Tammy's back, once Pulisic is back, once Ruben is actually playing. Jorginho's suspended for the next 2 matches, so that's not great. But, that kind of coincides at the same time with Ruben being healthy enough to at least play a little, hopefully. So, yeah, I don't know. Not much on Chelsea, but let's go ahead and take it to your fixture, Chuck, because on Saturday morning, you'll love this, because it's a bonkers XG line. First of all, Crystal Palace 1, Brighton 0. You love to see that.
Oh, was that a thing?
Severely underperforming for both teams. Palace on 2.2 XG, only scoring 1. And Brighton on 1.9, scoring 0. So neither of those teams can finish for fucking anything.
Brighton couldn't finish their fucking dinner. It was ridiculous. Guaita had 8 saves, but they were all from, perfect chances, one-on-one, only the keeper to beat, and they just booted it straight at him.
Yeah.
And put in the rivalry aside of what has now been picked up off a goof as the name is El Gatwico, which has been picked up by BT Sport now as calling that. It's better than the M23 derby, which just isn't a thing. It was just an amazing game of football. When you look back, I know it's easier through the veil of winning, but it was an actual competitive, end-to-end, wild shit is going to happen. Both teams had phases where it was like, how have you not scored? Goalkeepers pulling off excellent saves.
It was watching the game going, how are these two Premier League? That's what it was. It was fucking terrible.
Bit rich coming from fucking Peterborough.
Well, I'm not claiming to be anything, but...
it looked like an MLS match. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, it looked like it was A-League-esque. Don't care, mate. 3 points. Yeah. Goal, clean sheet. Thank you very much. Jordan, are you? 7 goals.
You may well have relegated Brighton. They are now... very
all
dangerously
the results
close.
went against them. This is what is so good. This is what is good, and it makes me happy because for years, right, being a fan of a club like Palace, and maybe, Ian, you have this as well, being Peterborough, it's always about looking below you in the table and hoping they don't do well.
Yep.
But now, because of where Palace are, there's 7 teams above that can't win for shit. That it's actually, can we look up the table a bit? Can we?
Palace for 4th, it's back on, babe.
Palace for 5th. It needs to be Palace for 5th.
Palace for 5th. Okay, yeah, as long as you're behind us.
But yeah, Brighton sticking to this really good kind of passing form of football, but putting a 6'7" central defender as their left back and him being the one putting in the crosses was a bit fucking daft.
It was highly entertaining. I was I got up. I was a little cranky to get up. I don't always want to wake up for the Saturday morning match, right? It's 6:30 for lineup, 7:30 for the actual kickoff.
Ooh.
But I was okay, I have to watch this. It's Palace versus Brighton. We're going to talk about it on the pod. Or we're not going to talk about it at all.
Yeah, it could have gone one of 2 ways, yeah.
But either way, I need to have seen it so that I can either celebrate with Chuck or make fun of Chuck brutally. But I was glad I woke up because it was fucking hilarious. It was high comedy. It was entertaining in every possible sense of the word. They were great up until the last kick, and then the shots were fucking terrible. Oh my god! Thank you for that, Palace.
It's not often a substitute got booked. There were flares.
I forgot about that. Oh my god! Truly, truly top bants. I know you hate that phrase, but this was the match of banter. It was fucking amazing.
It was brilliant. That's what every game, when it's a rivalry or a derby, that's what it should just be. Just absolute fucking chaos.
Pure chaos.
Because everyone is so desperate to win it because of just what it means to the clubs. And that was bloody lovely.
Benteke? Anything on Benteke? Or Zaha? Zaha was getting fouled a lot.
He always does, but he needs to... We need someone else that can create something as much, because he just gets triple teamed out of games, and then, especially in games like that, he gets wound up and tries to do everything himself. It's the same thing all the time.
So what's up with Townsend? Because he kind of was another outlet.
He had like quite a long injury, so he's just coming back now. And I think because of the state of the club with injuries, we don't really want to rush anyone back again, because then it will just fuck us up. But Benteke he got a goal against Everton, didn't score against Newcastle, but he looks like everything is back in his game, apart from just putting it in the back of the net. And the interplay between him and Ayew, as you could tell from the goal, like the presence to play that ball into Ayew was lovely. And he was getting up, he was beating Lewis Dunk in the air quite a lot. How did I forget this? Lewis Dunk, fucking clearance off the line by his own player. Lovely.
That's right. I forgot that too. There's so many things.
Neil Maupay's face, defender of the game. Bloody lovely. Yeah, it was good. And we won. That's what matters. At the Scums ground. Yeah.
All right, let's power on then to the 2 Sunday matches. We can kind of take them both at the same time. Thank you very much for the Sunday fixtures, because they did not make Chelsea pay. We had Everton 1 to Manchester United 1. Everton very hard done by, and I don't just mean because of that wrongly disallowed goal at the end. 2.1 on XG to 1.1. So they definitely should have won that. Anyone want to chime in on anything about that match, or specifically the disallowed goal at the end was the thing that I care about the most, really?
Jordan Pickford is not good.
Except for that double save. Holy shit.
I saw one highlight, and that was the Fernandes goal, and that was about it. So.
For the United side of this, I will say, it's crazy how much they needed someone who can pass in the middle of the pitch. They got someone who can pass in the middle of the pitch, and they are just light years better than they were before.
Which is fine, as long as they just keep drawing games.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Yep, absolutely. They look so much better. It's crazy how much one signing can make a difference. Because he's not even the best player in the league or the best passer in the league, but he is competent and above average. He's very good. That's unfair. He's very good. And he is what they needed. Don't make fucking luxury signings. Chelsea, we don't need a striker this summer. Buy the players that you need that are good for the things that you need for your fucking squad.
I don't want to give them too much credit. I feel like they just stumbled upon it.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like some grand plan from Solskjaer on this one.
No. It seems to just be they're just kind of seeing where it's going. If he starts winning some games, and, God bless you, Ian, you keep going with jinxing him, I like it. If you could just say once again that they look like putting a good run together.
They look like they're putting a good run together.
Thank you very much. It's just more that it has fortuitously happened, and it's just a cyclical thing of eventually you're probably going to win games.
You got to trust the process. As a Chelsea fan...
You got to have a process.
Well, yes, that's true. That is true. But yeah, I don't know. So let's take the Everton side of it then. Ian, I know you have thoughts. We kind of echoed each other's thoughts in the group chat earlier on the disallowed goal.
Well, what happened anyway is that Sigurdsson gets fouled in the penalty area and goes down and stays down, weirdly, even though the attack's sort of continuing. So it was Calvert-Lewin, wasn't it, who fired the ball in. It gets a massive deflection off Harry Maguire. Sigurdsson gets out the way and the ball slips in on the near post. And De Gea's going in the other directions and nowhere near it. And yeah, then it gets sent to VAR and Sigurdsson's deemed to be offside. So when they sort of replayed it, it's pretty clear that Sigurdsson doesn't touch the ball. So the only thing it can be is that he's impeding De Gea's view or interfering in some way. He's not near enough him to be interfering sort of physically. So it's just that he's in De Gea's line of sight. But it's just, if you look back at it, I just don't see how that is even possible to say.
Yeah.
He's apart from the fact that he's on the floor, and I must admit, when I first saw it, I was like, well, he's on the floor, De Gea's standing up. That's, you can see over him. But there was an angle I saw where sort of, Gylfi sat up and De Gea's sort of slightly crouched down, so you could go, oh, maybe. But then there's another angle, taken from behind where the shot is, where it's that you can draw a clear line and Sigurdsson's a foot out the way. It's not impeding his vision at all. De Gea's got his eyes on the ball the entire time it happens.
Well, yeah, and you know how else I know he could see the fucking ball? Because he went to dive in the direction of where the shot was.
Exactly, but he was travelling in the other direction and he couldn't
and then
get
it was
back
a
in
deflection
time.
off his own defender.
That's what happened. Yeah, exactly.
That shit happens all the time. Like, he went to save it, it deflected off his defender, and then it rolled in.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, it kind of rolled past a guy who was in the general vicinity of it, so he must have been impeding. But it's like, no, that's bullshit. It wasn't like, it was the deflection off the defender that took the ball away from De Gea. All right, well, Everton, I think, a bit hard done by, but you know who weren't hard done by? Is Wolves. Wolves putting themselves truly back into that conversation for Europe. Their chances are up to 41% now, whereas Tottenham's dropped to 23%. So they almost have double Tottenham's chances. They are 3-2 for Wolves, 2.6 to 1.6. So the scoreline matches the XG. According to Understat, I'm sure if I looked at the other models, it would be approximately close as well. Hell of a match. Wolves, just a classic counterattacking. You want to talk about possession is dead. Tottenham had all of the ball. Wolves scored with their first 2 shots. And they but truly good value. Like, that was one of those cases where Wolves don't want a lot of shots. They want really, really high percentage shots. Mm-hmm. And so despite not having any of the ball, despite not having all that many shots by the end of the match, they are truly, truly good value for their 3 goals.
They're annoyingly good.
Why annoying?
Because it's like they've just had a clear plan of what they can do. From the Championship, they've set up with a manager who knows that. They've backed him. They've built a decent team that can play in multiple different ways.
Uh-huh.
Chuck saying all positive things.
Yeah.
But that's why it's annoying, because it's a club that it's got. Why can't my team be like that?
There
we go.
But there is, and there's so many teams that must feel like similarly frustrated. Basically, everyone who belongs in the amorphous blob of shit,
right,
should look at a club like Wolves and be like, for fuck's sake, it can be done.
And really genuinely putting themselves back into that European conversation, because they're at 41%. And the next highest team is United at 53%.
Does that take into account, I don't know whether you'd have this to hand, but obviously Wolves have also just reached the round of 16 for Europa League. Uh-huh. And so if they win the Europa League, I think they still get a Champions League spot. So
I see what you're saying. Is that in that percentage? Yeah, that's interesting.
It does it's a holistic model, so it's not just based off of XG or anything. This is 538. It's not open source, so you can't see exactly what their methodology is, but they do have a pretty long article explaining it. And it takes into account a lot of things. Obviously, XG correlates strongly, but it does take into account their performances in Europe, their likelihood of winning other competitions. So it would have the Europa League in there. And they have a really, really comprehensive ELO rating, I think is what they call it. I could be on the wrong word there, but
also known as the Mr. Blue Sky algorithm.
Which takes into account the strength of schedule, how they've performed in all various competitions, and sort of implies how good of a team they are, on top of not just their XG numbers. And then what they do is it's called a Monte Carlo simulation. This is probably more stats than you actually wanted, but I don't care because I get to talk about this for once. And so what they do is they take all this data, collecting the strength of all the teams basically in the league based off of their performances in a lot of competitions and so forth and so on. And then they put all that data into a computer, and they have the computer simulate the rest of the league, all the fixtures, thousands of times. And then they take the average of all of those simulations. That's called a Monte Carlo simulation. And then that's how they kind of project where your teams are going to end up, what points they're going to end up with. So it's very, very advanced modeling. It's not just here's expected goal difference like I usually do.
So you're saying it's a bit better than what I used to do on Championship Manager in 2002. It's
a little bit, yeah.
A little bit more involved than that. Okay,
yeah,
fine.
A little bit. But so they're up to 41%. They are very genuinely in that conversation. They're not that far behind Man United now, and they have put plenty of room between them and Spurs. Beefy Boy, resident Beefy Boy of Wolves, did seem to dislocate his shoulder and then just popped it back in and just jumped back on. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Not even a problem anymore. So it's clearly a recurring issue for him, and it's just pop that one back in, off we go, keep playing. I don't know whether to sell him in FPL. I've got no idea what to do with him because it's just sort of he seems to have a shoulder problem, but continues to play and does fine. I mean, he didn't get anything, didn't get any goal involvement this time, did he? But
no, but he was a menace.
He always looks good. That's the thing. Yeah, if you watch it, it's sort of always fun to own him and watch a Bulls game. So yeah.
And like I know that like pace and power is like a very problematic phrasing for black players, both because of like the racist implications, but then also like when teams are recruiting, they don't look for black players that are technically skilled. They look for black players that are strong and fast because like
physically
that's what they've
strong,
sort of been the mentality that's been bred in. But he really genuinely is like so fucking strong and so fucking fast. It's insane. But he was what? He was off for like 30 seconds with a dislocated shoulder, just popped it back in and kept playing.
He's a fucking hero.
And he doesn't even go to the gym.
Bullshit.
Beefy boy.
Oh, he's real beefy, yeah.
Can we just go, is that official podcast name for him, or is that just something you've...
Yeah, he's the resident beefy boy of the pod, 100%.
No, veto, no. Not beefy boy of the pod.
Beefy boy.
Would you prefer thick, lad?
All of these are awful.
I stand by it.
Okay.
Beefy boy.
And on that note, we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back and see if we have any listener questions and FPL stuff. And so stick around. We might even get to talk more about the Beefy Boy during the FPL section. So
I hope not.
See you after the jump.
Welcome back to the Jordan Ayew podcast, where we talk a little bit of Jordan Ayew and a whole lot of Jordan Ayew. I'm just kidding. Suck it, Brighton. Doubt we've actually genuinely got any fans that listen to us. Let's begin with our fantasy FPL section. I'll tell you what, I'll do a quick mention. Predictor League, we went through it last week. Oscar, you're winning by 6 points. There you go.
Yay! I'm the Leicester, baby. Worst two first.
You're the Leicester a third, mate, and dropping.
When they won the title, remember they were relegation favourites and they barely scraped by the season before?
Fantasy Premier League! We did shit, but so did everyone. So that's fine. 30 points for the week. Jimenez got 7, Pope got 10. Our captain Salah ended up on 4. Tanganga 1, Stevens 0, Alexander-Arnold 1, Bolly 0, Traore 2, Beefy Boy 2, Lucas Moura 2, Perez 2, Ings 1.
But I mean that's all right because the overall average was something like 26. So
overall average is 26. Yeah, low week. Literally everyone scored low points this week. How about you, gents? How was your week?
36.
Oh, 36. That's not good.
I mean, I have Pulisic in my team, and I just brought him in last week, so that's how much I'm paying attention. I just want him to be healthy, so I was like, if I bring him in, he'll get healthy, maybe, but no. It's not.
Is this just sort of like a wishful thinking, like putting the vibes out into the world and hoping it? Yeah,
very much.
That's about 36, 10 above average. That's good.
I got 42, took a hit though,
nice.
So ended up on 38. Got Vardy out with about 5 minutes to go before the deadline because I saw those leaked team sheets that he wasn't even in the squad, and he was my fucking captain until then. So I had about 5 minutes of panicked fucking...
I had the exact same as you. Yeah,
God, I was panicking, and I ended up going Vardy to Giroud, which wasn't the worst thing in the world.
No, that's a cheeky punt.
Somehow got an assist off the crossbar. That was a bit weird.
Yep, legitimate assist, thank you.
Yeah, totes.
And ended up captaining though Trent because I fancied a differential, as I said in my Patreon mini pod, and that didn't work out, did it? So yeah, 38 though, and a decent 20k I think rank jump. So yeah,
nice,
not bad. What about yourself, Chuck?
Well, I wildcarded because I got bored of my team.
Oh, of course you did. Yeah, I saw an early one that really looked like a flavour of the month wildcard. Did you go
massively
with that in the end?
Pretty much did. Put it out to Patreons. Everyone said don't do it. It's a bit stupid. Well, 68 points, mate.
Fuck a duck, really.
68 points, and I still had bloody 11 points for Guaita on the bench,
Oh,
and
Right.
7 points for Bergwijn on the bench.
Bergwijn.
But I don't mind because I had Pope.
All right, so you got a clean sheet anyway for your keeper.
Yeah, I was very hopeful, especially as the Palace one was first. Palace game, so it was like brilliant. I've just watched Guaita get all of these saves, and I
Yeah.
even checked midway through the game. I was like, "Damn it, he is on my bench." But yeah, mate, I had Pope, Taylor, Van Aanholt, Doherty, Fernandez, Jota. Yeah, mate.
That's an amazing score this week. I mean, you must have absolutely flown up the ranks.
I got an overall rank of 3,000
On the game week?
on the game week. Yeah, and
Bloody
jumped
hell.
230k to
What?
just
Oh,
outside
fucking hell.
200k now. So yeah,
I'm crowing about 20k. You
Not-
jumped up 200k.
too shabby. And
Fuck me.
if Liverpool had not been shit, although I'll take it. We probably would have. Everyone would have jumped about another 30, so could have gone up to nearly 100. But Auntie had balls and would be my uncle and all that shit.
Exactly.
Damn, that is a much better game week rank than my team. I was at 6,917,000. Oh wait, oh no, sorry, I'm logged into the wrong account. This is the my second team.
Oh, right. Have you got a secret second team, you cheating bastard?
Oh, you know about this. Our listeners did not step up last week, so I go ahead and took it upon
Oh.
myself to get the all penis 11. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't actually know you'd registered it. I thought that... Oh, okay,
No,
fine, right.
it's fully in. We need to get it into the mop league.
Okay.
Can I take you guys through the team? I'm weirdly proud of this.
Okay.
Go. Let's do
Okay,
this.
you've got a penis 11.
Yep. So the name of the team is Getting Willy with It. The name of the owner is Richard Johnson.
Nice.
Yep. He is from the Isle of Man, and he
Good,
supports
yes.
Man City. Let's see. My two keepers are Willie Caballero and Woodman.
No. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. The defense is as such Willy Bolly. Got to get Willie in there.
Yep, of course.
Really, Bobby.
We got Fucks. We got Sacco. We got Johnson. And we got Stones.
Glenn Johnson. Still there.
I don't even know what Johnson, because he did not play. None of these guys play. I have 24 in the bank on this team.
Okay, right. 24 million in the bank, right.
Yep.
Oh,
we
nice.
got, in the midfield, we have Rodwell, Small Bone,
Yeah, Willie Smallbone.
Longstaff,
Yes.
Good Ridge, and Mount.
Matt.
Yep.
We are stretching the premise slightly, but yeah, okay.
Absolutely. And then up front, this was where I struggled because there's like Eastwood, Greenwood, and just wood. So I just put the regular wood in.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's an open goal, really, isn't it?
I have
You've all got to put wood in.
Yeah. This one is good in this particular order too. It is Long Wood McBurney.
Jesus Christ.
Gotta go get that looked at, McBurney.
Yeah. That's a strong effort.
Yeah, right? Rodwell, Smallbone, Longstaff.
There's two long staffs as well. You could have just doubled up and.
Double ender. No, don't say that. We did have another 11 suggested by Sam Danby on our Slack. This is old school as well, and it's not really just penises. He's just gone. I think it's like a rude things 11.
Gotcha. Okay.
So in goal is David Seaman.
Yeah.
I mean,
good.
that's route one, but yeah, he's gone Dick Dunn, Richard Dunn.
Very nice.
Obviously, Willy Bolly.
Yep.
He's then got Danny Shittu.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Midfield, he's got Lars Bender.
Very nice.
Brother of Sven Bender.
Is there another one where we could have had two? Okay.
Yeah, double Bender.
Right. He's gone for Willie Smallbone. Ralph Minge. I haven't Googled any of these. I don't actually know they're even players, some of them. Andre Muff.
Yep.
Stefan Kuntz. I'm gonna pronounce that properly because I think it's very rude.
Yep.
And save
Gonna have to
yourself a
bleep
bleep.
yourself there. Yeah.
Exactly. And then David Goodwillie and Paul Dickoff.
Of course. Of course.
The classics.
Yeah. Seaman at the back really spraying passes all over this field. And hold on. There goes our last female listener. Bye.
Yeah.
It is exclusively 12-year-old boys. I also just remembered, just right now, that my brother's neighbor, who's like a 12-year-old boy or an 11-year-old boy, listens to us every week. You remember that?
That is not our responsibility.
No, not at all. But he is dying right now. So you're welcome. Go ahead and share that with your friends at school.
Yeah, and if he gets pocket money, Miles, patreon.com/Miles of Side Pod.
Wow. I mean, I'm not above it, but wow.
No, we'll put in a tier where we just do a dick joke section every week. Well, that's just the pod. That's just the pod.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's do transfers then. Transfers for the pod team. What have we got suggested?
Oh, you're going to bring us back from dick... Oh, fine. We'll actually do the podcast. Well, last week I didn't win again, but I would have suggested I got Patrick Van Arnholt. He would have got 8 points. Dwight McNeil, 3 points. Still better than Bolly and Lucas Moura.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, it's just the public, so it's not your fault, mate. Not your fault. It's the rest of them. It's the rest of them. So, Joe Gomez, yellow, not playing. For some reason, still didn't play injured, and they picked Lovren. Joe Gomez, out. Patrick Van Arnholt, in. I'm doing this.
Oh, I quite like that, actually, yeah.
Boom. He's going to be your Pulisic. You're just going to keep suggesting it until we actually get him.
Yeah, but I will not suggest to transfer him out if we get him. Still winds me up. So yeah, Gomez out, Van Arnholt in.
Yeah,
Cool.
Once Pulisic is healthy, this section is going to get very repetitive.
Oscar, what are you suggesting?
Ayoze Perez for Sarr. Sarr had himself a good week. He's probably going to jump in price. Wolves seem to be in a bit of form lately.
Doesn't play for Wolves, but yeah, okay.
Oh, Watford, fucking A. Whatever, fuck it. Sarr anyway. Fucking Wolves. Oh, God, I'm tired. So, Ayoze Perez for Sarr.
Yeah, and Ian, your traditionally boring pick of the week is...
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to go get rid of Tanganga. It's absolute dog shit. And let's get in Sheffield United's, what's his name? Egan or something.
Egan. So,
Egan.
Must get in Spurs players for the upcoming double game week, so you transfer out a Spurs player.
What
Okay.
Spurs, what upcoming double?
Well, that's why you wanted to get a Spurs player in, mate. Or something.
Who?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to the FPL
Wasn't-
nerds.
that
I
was
just
the-
wildcarded. I don't give a shit.
Definitely wasn't me.
Been a good
Tanganga
players.
was on Oscar's wildcard. It's nothing to do with me. And we don't know about any doubles yet. Anyway,
I don't know. Fucking...
Sheffield United have got Norwich and Newcastle next, so let's have a couple of clean sheets off of that.
Oh, yeah, good shout. Bollocks, I need to get Lundstrom back.
He's about 8 million now. Can't be bothered.
Nah, fuck that. Okay, so those are suggestions. Ian's Holman! Ian's Holman!
Love it. Right, last week we were asked a question about dating, whether we had any dating disasters, and Chuck had. Fucking DFS. Andy on the Slack came in, and he has a first date story of his own. He said, on first dates, I once had a bad first date in Bromley, incidentally.
Wow.
So it's your neck of the woods as well.
Yeah, it also just shows how much of a void of fun it is.
Andy says he was in a pub, went to the toilet, and on the way back, there was a couple of guys with their backs to me blocking my way. I said, "Excuse me, mate," and they totally ignored me. Said it again, totally ignored me again, so I thought, fuck you guys, barged in between them, nearly knocking one of them flying, returned to the table, and the girl I was with was totally aghast. I turned round to notice that the two guys were in a group of people using sign language to speak to one another.
Oh, no. Oh, man. Well, that's why he's a Patreon. He fits right in.
Imagine.
And that's why he moved to Qatar.
That's why, specifically. Imagine the hot shame that would come over you.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I haven't got anything else, but do you reckon he went and apologised afterwards? Or just...
No, you got to double down.
Yeah.
Really? What? Pull out their hearing aids and chuck them in a pint? What? What's doubling down in that situation?
Aggressive eye contact.
Okay. That's your go-to.
It is. That's my move.
Thanks for sharing, Andy.
Yeah.
And if you are a similarly terrible person and want to get in on that Slack and share with us your stories, go ahead and go to patreon.com/milesoffsidepod or milesoffsidepod. One of those. Ian knows it. This is his job usually.
Patreon.com/milesoffsidepod.
There you go. And you can send us your questions and your stories on the Patreon Slack.
Yeah. Emu Planes, get back in touch. Come on, give us another one.
He did have another one as well, another first date where the girl turned up 45 minutes late because she was in the cinema. I don't know whether that was planned dating someone else, who knows. Then proceeded to spill a full drink onto my lap later in the evening. That was 12 years ago, and she's now the mother of my children.
Hey!
So, some of them work out all right.
Yeah, good that he identifies that as a bad date.
A bad first date, yeah.
Guessing she's not a listener.
Yeah, almost definitely not.
Almost certainly.
By the way, we were listening back to the pod last week, and Emily was like, you could have probably talked about our first date. And I was like, sorry, what? And she was like, yeah, I almost fucking passed out.
Was it just bad for her?
Yeah, basically. No, the date itself was pretty good, but she had given blood that morning. She had, like, donated blood. And then when I picked her up, she lived on, like, 22nd Street and 8th Avenue, and I was like, we were going to Times Square. I was like, let's walk, which is about a 3.5 mile walk, but I was like, it's really nice out. We should go for a walk. And she was like, okay. Because she didn't want to, like, seem like a, you know, kind of a down, wet blanket kind of person. And so she just went with it. And by the time we got to the theater, because we went to the movies, she was, like, really fucking pale, even for her. God. And, like, was like, I need to sit down. I'm really dizzy. I was like, what the fuck? Why? What happened? I thought she was, like, making excuses, getting ready to go home, be like, this guy's a fucking idiot. She was like, oh, I gave blood this morning and I haven't eaten, so...
She could have said that before you suggested the 3 mile walk or whatever, you know. Well, I've lost 1/8 of my blood capacity today.
Especially around competitive eater boy over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you mentioned food, he's done. Right, that's it. Change all the plans.
Yep. And then our, I'm sure I've told our getting engaged story at some point as well, but that was an equally disastrous date that ended with us engaged. So if you want to hear that, I'll tell it on a Patreon special. So keep an eye out for that.
Okay. Keep one in the bank there then. Okay. Another one of our Patreons, Jeff Pedder, he asks, who's your most favourite and least favourite James Bond?
Oh, does it mean actors or films? How are we taking this?
I assumed actors.
I've never seen the old Bonds. I've only seen Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig. Of the two, Daniel Craig is the better one. So that kind of answers itself.
Yeah. But I mean, in general as well, the films are just better.
Yeah.
Well, sure. That's true of all films. Like, if you watch old movies, like, I love Rocky 1, but any movie made before, like, 1977 is really fucking weird. They'll just have, like, half-hour scenes in the middle of nothing happening, and you're like, what is the pacing here? What, like, did you guys just not know how to write things? What the fuck is this? Like, there's a full-out scene where he's just, like, in a pet store for, like, 20 minutes. Just, like, looking at fish and walking around. I was like, this is not, like, what are you doing?
I don't want to stereotype you, but I like that you're such a Marvel fan, and it feels like you're saying, why has nothing exploded? What's...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
When's Michael Bay getting here?
But old movies are really weirdly paced, right? Like, it doesn't keep moving.
I mean, it was just a different time.
Well, yes, it's the past.
Yes.
I know you struggle with understanding that, but, like, yes, that's correct, actually. You
That was more
got
of
that
a
one right.
clarification for myself. But to say that there's, like, all the movies before 1975, that's ridiculous.
I stand by it. I said what I said.
I'd love to pull some examples right now, but I don't know any dates of movies.
Can't think of anything.
And the only old film I can think of is Gone with the Wind, and fuck that garbage.
Yeah, speaking of pacing, it's 7 hours long.
Nazi pacing.
Okay. Well, just got that joke.
It's a Wonderful Life. I mean, that's a Christmas film. That's an old Christmas film. Do you not like that, Oscar?
That film sucks.
Yeah, I don't like it. If it wasn't for Christmas, I would fucking hate it. Because it's Christmas, I'll tolerate it once every few years, but I'm not trying to watch that shit every year.
Garbage.
Yeah. Old movies suck. I'm sorry. Some of them are like, oh, classics of cinema. I went to film school. La-di-da. Fuck you. It's boring. Nothing happens. Ugh. Don't make me watch anything from before 1975. I refuse.
So Timothy Dalton.
Okay, so let's go to our producer, Nate Whittam. And he wants to know, what's your go-to Subway order?
Come on, Beefy boy. What are you having?
The garlic and herbs bread, obviously a foot long, with teriyaki chicken breast, some tomatoes, some diced onions, and some red wine vinegar, and mozzarella cheese if they have it, which not every Subway does. If they don't, then I'll get like I don't know, whatever cheese is closest to a mozz.
Where's the red wine vinegar going?
Yeah, that's a strange one.
On top of the teriyaki sauce on the chicken.
You just get vinegar and put that on there.
Wait, how does Subway work over there? Because over here, you pick a bread, you pick a meat, you pick some toppings, and then
no.
spray some sauce
same
all over
format.
it.
Exact same format.
No, it works like that. But I just don't think there's a canister of vinegar in our ones, and just
there's
you
no
just chuck
red
vinegar
wine
on
vinegar not in the UK.
Oh, over here there is. You can get mayo, you can get ketchup, you can get barbecue sauce, you can get
sauces. Yeah, that's all fine. That's all.
it's the
you can
vinegar.
get a vinegar thing. That goes great with a chicken and mozzarella and
is it
a
just
balsamic.
vinegar? But is it literally just vinegar? It's not made
No,
into
it's a red wine vinaigrette.
Oh, okay, right.
Okay.
There we go.
Right. I genuinely thought because I don't know. There's obviously balsamic vinegar's got a very specific flavour and blah blah. Red wine vinegar is just vinegar. It's not it's not something I'd choose to put on something. I suppose if it's in an oil thing, maybe. But yeah, I thought you would just literally just dousing it in acid and just.
Oh no, it goes great with a chicken tomato mozzarella. It's almost not quite a pesto sauce, but the combination of the teriyaki and the red wine vinaigrette is a sweet and tangy.
Yeah,
it's real good. It's real fucking good.
Chuck, do you go to Subway much?
If I go Subway, I'm getting maximum value for money. I'm getting everything in there.
Everything
in there. Yeah.
I can well imagine. Actually, yeah, just more fillings than bread.
Yeah, Italian BMT, which I don't know what the BMT stands for.
Bacon, mozzarella, tomato,
No.
meatballs, probably.
No idea. See, it's just spicy meat. No one knows.
Yeah, there's no way to know.
It's just 3 different meats and then all of it. Usually the garlic and herb one as well, or maybe the cheese. The cheese
5
crusted
cheese
one
one
they do now. Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's good. Everything in there. When they say, do you want jalapenos? Yes, I want jalapenos.
Yes, please.
When they say, do you want pickles? Yes, I want pickles.
Ugh.
See, that makes no sense.
Pickles.
That makes no sense because the pickle is you've just said you put a red
It's the
wine
same
vinaigrette.
taste profile as a vinegar. Yeah,
Pickles
In
are
there.
disgusting in everything. They ruin every fucking
but
food. Get them
they
off my
taste
plate.
the same as a vinegar. It's that
False.
taste profile.
Nope. Also,
Well,
it's
it
a red
is,
wine
'cause-
vinaigrette, not a red wine vinegar.
Yeah, okay,
Just to clarify.
You're the one who
Yeah,
said red
pickles.
wine vinegar. You're the one who sent us on this.
Sorry, I misspoke. Okay. Fuck pickles.
Yeah, pickle. You dick. It's the one food thing I actually get angry with you for. I can't trust people that don't like pickles.
I don't trust people that like pickles. So,
I'll get in the scene.
That's where we are.
Yeah.
do you like pears? Also,
No,
Pear. Yeah.
I
it's a
don't.
bad apple. It's an apple that's been sitting out for 7 hours and it's the wrong shape. That's what a pear is.
Fibrous. I'll admit it's a strange consistency.
Yeah, you just bite them and they just sort
Grainy.
of disappear under your teeth, and I'm just like, yeah, it's just no. I
It's
don't
disgusting. Good. Okay, so we're officially anti pears, but it sounds like pro pickles.
like. That's how again democracy works.
But you know how I know that we have bad opinions? Because we are pro pickles and pro coronavirus. So
I'm not pro coronavirus.
no, we said it. Don't back down now.
But yeah, my Subway sandwich, I then get a spicy sauce, whatever, I don't know what hot chili they have. Hot chili, probably sriracha now, that's what all the hipster kids are having. Mix it with mayo, you pricks.
What about you, Ian?
Footlong.
Sorry,
Penis.
is that my
Sorry,
nickname
that was just
now?
my penis, not about... Footlong and Beefy Boy.
He likes a 12-stitch sandwich.
Yeah, it's a 12-stitcher. It's got to be. I don't think I've been to Subway in about 20 years. I haven't been since university. I can't remember what
Probably
used
why
to
they're
go
all
for.
closing down.
What's me specifically?
Yeah.
Right, well, that wraps it up for listener questions this week. So if you want to get in touch with us, we're Miles Offside Pod on Twitter and Instagram and also probably Facebook. And you can email us. We didn't get any emails this week. The flood stopped.
Oh, they
I know.
breached the dam.
Yeah.
No,
Miles
the
Off-
opposite.
But it's milesoffsidepod@gmail.com. And also, let me do my sort of one monthly thing where I try and get a review. Review us 5 stars wherever you get your pods. Actually, we did get one review after my last shout out. Let me just pull it up now. It was in America. We're always like the American reviews because we don't have as many of them as we do elsewhere.
This is
true. It was 5 stars, so we're very happy with that. And it said, a nerdy Guatemalan New Yorker, an ageing bald guy, and a jaded food industry worker discuss the finer points of asbestos, mittens, and occasionally football or soccer. Jokes aside, give it a listen. I look forward to it every week. So I'd like to thank you, Tug Johnson,
Put him in the team!
Yeah. Do we think that's his real name?
I have no idea. I assume that's a pseudonym, but it's one I'm very much here for.
He is the most astute observer of things.
Very much
Mittens?
so.
We fall into all of those categories.
Yeah,
Wait,
I was
Mittens?
a little bit confused with Mittens. I think maybe with the socks thing.
Oh, I take it back then. He's never listened. He's lying.
To be fair, he references quite a lot of our key points.
Yeah. He clearly knows the podcast better than we do, because I'm sure he's right. We probably had a funny conversation about Mittens at some point, or at least a conversation about Mittens.
Maybe.
But I do not remember this. Chuck, do you remember Mittens?
Sounds like you're talking about a cat that you had that died.
Kitten Mittens.
Gone but not forgotten. R.I.P. in peace, Mittens.
Yeah. But yeah, there you go. So yeah, if I can do a shout out for a review, if you've ever thought, oh, I like that podcast, because we've learnt recently that we've retained some listeners for years, and that's insane to us. Just
Yeah, it's wild. It's really nice.
It's really nice. Yeah, just chuck us 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts, and give us a little review, and I'll read it out. Especially if your name's Tug Johnson, I'll always read that out.
You're getting the armband in the penis 11, mate.
Yeah, exactly. That's got to get the armband.
Before we move on to fixtures next week, gents, I've prepared a little something for you if you're interested.
Oh.
Now, Back of the Net Spend received rave review.
It did. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So how about another little quiz?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, I fucking love a quiz.
Okay.
He loves a quiz. Insert witty name for quiz here.
Right, if you think about it in the next couple of days, just send me it and I'll chuck it in.
Editor's note, he didn't.
Thanks, mate. I'd also like a bed for this one, which I will let you know later.
Okay.
I'll find it, don't worry.
He didn't do that either.
About a month ago, and this is when I prepared this, we had a question from a person about our favourite seasons for our teams.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oscar, you went for 09-10 season for Chelsea.
Yep.
Ian, you went for the turn of the millennium Peterborough side.
Yes.
So I thought I'd prepare a few questions to see how much you guys know or remember
Jesus.
about your favourite seasons.
Oh, dear.
Oh, I like this.
It is weighted to Oscar advantage, as he is sort of Rain Man in all of this shit.
Thanks.
Especially
I guess.
as films didn't exist before 1975 and football didn't exist before 2008.
Yep. 2004. Thank you very much.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, 5 questions each.
Oh.
Some of them are 2-parters. I've got a tiebreaker as well. It's all very exciting.
Oh my God.
So, anyone want to prefer to go first? Ian or Oscar?
I'm going to do badly.
Ian, take it away. Why don't
okay,
ladies first.
I'll go first.
Peterborough United in the 99-2000 season.
Yep.
What was the shirt sponsor?
The shirt sponsor, right, okay. I am going to go Thomas Cook.
That is incorrect.
Oh.
Oscar, I could give you the chance to steal, but no fucking way.
Let me try. I'll just say a random thing. Who knows? Subway sandwiches.
No, it was simply the Posh.
Oh, God, it was when we were yeah, okay.
Self-sustaining, so that was probably the easiest one, so this isn't going to go well for you. Oscar,
This
same
is
question.
so fun.
Who was the Chelsea sponsor in 2009-2010? Sam.
Oh, for
Done.
fuck's sake.
Yes.
I have 50 Chelsea jerseys. I know those sponsors.
Yes, he remembers which defunct competition he got as the armband. Ian, you said your favourite player that year was David Farrell.
Yeah.
How many goals did he score? I'm going to give you one either side.
He was a midfielder, a winger, I think. And how many goals did he score? I will go with 9.
Oh, it was only 6.
Oh, that's close. Give it to him. Give him the point.
I mean,
It's a pity point.
we'll see where his final score is, and then we'll do it.
Okay, all right.
Oscar, your favourite player from that year was Michael Ballack.
Oof.
How many goals did he score?
I have no idea. No idea. I'm just going to throw a number out there. I don't think it was that many. So I'm going to say 5.
It was 5!
Oh, God.
No way.
This is gonna
Absolute
be a
ninja,
whitewash.
exactly 5. It was so long ago, I can't remember if that was all competitions or just the league, but who knows.
That's amazing. I can't believe I got that.
Ian,
Yeah.
What position in the table did Peterborough finish that year? We'll go one either side again. I'll give you that.
Well, we finished. It was playoffs. But did we scrape it because we needed that run, didn't we? Shit. 6th.
5th. But I'll give it you. And a bonus point. Again, one either side. How many points did you finish on?
Oof.
Oh God.
Memory.
46 game seaon. We finished 5th. I will go 73.
I'm tempted. 78.
Oh no, that's too far away.
That's too far. Oscar.
Yeah.
How many goals did
103.
Chelsea score? What?
103.
Yep, nailed it.
For
And
fuck's sake, this is ridiculous.
We were the first team to break 100. That's why I remember that. It was
that's
a
the
big
problem
deal.
with that question. Bonus point, what was your positive goal difference?
Oh, shit. Okay. I'm going to say 78.
71.
Oh.
You are shit at this game.
God, that's an
Ian.
incredible goal difference anyway. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, that's quite good. You had 2 notable out transfers to Tottenham that year.
Okay,
Can you name the 2 players?
I might be able to. Was one Matty Etherington,
Yes.
and
Wow.
the other one would have been Simon Davis.
Bingo!
Yes.
Nailed them
Good
both.
recall. Holy
4.
shit.
Go on.
Bonus point. What was the combined fee you received for those 2 players?
Okay, combined fee receipt. I reckon it would have been like.
I'll give you 100k either side.
Okay, I'll go 1.1 million.
Oh, no, 700k. Fuck all. Oscar,
Yeah, I'm going to get this wrong. I don't know transfers.
that year, Chelsea signed Nemanja Matic. What was his transfer fee? Again?
I don't
100k either side.
know. 15 million.
15 million. You were only out by a multiple of 10. 1.5 million.
Yeah, I told you. I don't know. I didn't know about transfers back then at all.
And for a bonus point, I've already put you've got this wrong. What was the club he signed from?
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
No, that's not the club.
fuck. Oh, I know this.
In the corner of your
No,
mind.
I can't. I don't remember. I'm going to say Benfica, but that's wrong.
Completely wrong. MFK Kojice.
Oh.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. Okay, never mind then.
I'm assuming they play in his home nation of Serbia?
I
Yeah, he
said
said-
Serbia, yeah.
Cashback! Right, Ian, here's the big one. Last question.
Okay.
This is where you can get it back. Because I'm going to say there's 6 points on offer here.
Is that engineered so as I could win it?
Correct.
Big time.
So, you famously, at the end of the season, went on a run of 6 games, winning 5 of those games.
Yeah.
Can you name the 5 teams you beat?
There's no way I'm going to be able to name 5 teams. Okay.
I'll give you 6 guesses to get 5 teams.
6 guesses to
So
get
you've got
5
one
teams.
gimme.
Okay. Right. I remember Rochdale.
Correct.
That we talked about, I'm sure. I'm reaching.
Reach deep into Ian's hole.
I know who's in the playoffs as well. Chester City.
Correct.
Oh, you're going to beat me.
Barnet.
No,
No.
that's your gimme gone.
No, Barnet was the.
Well, your extra guess.
Barnet was the first playoff.
So that's 3 guesses.
Oh God, I'm sweating. Oh, I know who was in the league that year. Brighton.
Yeah, baby. Loved
Wow.
seeing that. So that's 3. So you got 2 more guesses to get the last 2.
Okay, who else was in the league that year? York City.
No. One more guess.
Oh, you let me have one more?
Well, you've got one more. I gave you 6. You've had 5
okay.
guesses.
Okay, but I'm not going to get them all now, am I?
That's maths.
Leighton Orient.
No, you missed Exeter and Halifax.
Oh, okay.
Two notable teams. Your bonus point, who was the loss to out of those 6 games?
Oh.
Not a clue. I'll just pick another team in the league. Swansea.
No, it was Torquay.
Torquay, yeah,
So,
okay.
that puts you, Mr. Ian Simpson, on 1, 2, 3, 4,
I didn't do
5,
too bad then
6.
at the end.
6
Okay.
out of some. Haven't added it up. How
Okay,
many
it's
you
fine.
got?
6.
Oscar, you are currently on 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, Ian's going to win. I'm not going to get 3 of these. I'm assuming you're going to ask me the last round of the last 10 fixtures or whatever.
no. So yours is, again, it's a 5-parter.
Okay.
So you've got 5 points on offer here, and you don't get a bonus because fuck you.
Okay, fair enough.
Notably, I think it was on the last game of the season,
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea had an emphatic 8-0 victory against Wigan.
Mm-hmm. That was the first Chelsea match Emily ever watched.
Lovely. Can you name the 5 goal scorers?
Okay.
Nice.
Anelka, Drogba, Lampard,
Yes.
Maluda,
No.
and Deco.
No. We're going to a tiebreaker.
Yes!
He's only got
fuck.
3. Drogba got a hat-trick on that day, I think.
Yep, I remember he got in an argument with Lampard over the penalty.
Yep.
Because normally Lampard was the penalty taker, but Drogba was up against Rooney for the golden boot. And so he needed that penalty. And even though we were up like 4-0, there was like, they got in an argument about it. And then Drogba ended up taking it. I remember that.
Amazing.
Yeah, so you got Drogba, Anelka, Lampard. The others was Solomon Kalou and Ashley Cole
Oh.
was the goal scorer.
Ash.
So that, let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes! That makes it 6-all.
Wow. Okay.
So, the tiebreaker is, how many goals have Crystal Palace scored in the Premier League?
This season.
Ever.
Oh, ever?
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
I don't
Since
even.
inception of the league in 1992.
Yep.
Now, I think one of you, because I don't want to do that bullshit thing where one says an answer and one says one above. So, have either of you got a pen and paper really close to hand?
Yeah, I can get one.
Right, so Oscar, you're going to write your answer down,
Okay.
and then Ian's going to give his answer out.
Okay.
Okay, we get a hint of some sort? Like how many years how many seasons
Crystal
they've
Palace
had?
is the hint. How many goals have Crystal Palace scored?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man. Okay.
I have no sense of how many years they've been in the Premier League before 2004 at all.
Okay, then.
I feel like I'm at a significant disadvantage in that regard, but
Yeah,
fine.
I mean, Ian isn't a Crystal Palace fan, so I'm a Crystal Palace fan, and I didn't know this until I Googled it. So, how many goals? And that's including this week. I hope I've added this up right.
Did you add them up by hand, did you?
I can't remember when I put the tiebreaker in. Because obviously this is about a month ago, so your seasons weren't going to change, but the tiebreaker's changed.
Brilliant. Yeah.
But obviously it's closest to it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Is this
Oscar...
Price is Right rules, like closest without going over, or just straight up closest?
Nah, just closest. Fuck that. So, Oscar, have you written down an answer?
No, I have not.
Still thinking.
I am ready. I'm going to be way off here, but I have written an answer down. So let's
Okay.
see.
Right, so Ian, you ready to say yours?
Yep.
So, Mr. Stimpson, how many goals have Crystal Palace scored in the Premier League era?
I'm going to go for 382.
382.
Jesus Christ, that's so far off of the answer that I said.
I don't know. I've honestly got no idea. I can't remember how many seasons Crystal Palace have been in.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Not a clue.
Oscar, what is your answer?
I think you're going to be mildly offended at how low this number is, but I said 150, and I can hold the thing up.
150.
Yes.
What the fuck? I didn't need the calculator for this. Ian Stimpson wins the quiz.
Yes.
You're both pricks. It was 450 goals.
Blimey. Okay.
In 416 games, we have been in the Premier League 4 times outside of this bit now. This season of 6. So 10 seasons. It used to be a bigger league, so there was 46 games
Yeah.
in the season.
In my head, I had like 9 seasons, and that's...
See, in my head, I had like 5 seasons.
Right, okay, so that was my advantage there, yeah, okay.
Ian wins a quiz!
There we go. I did not think I was going to win that. Matty Etherington and
Neither
Simon
did I.
Davis.
I'm so proud of you. I've come up with this. I was thought, do I text Ian to tell him to revise the 99-2000
Yeah, that would have
season?
been nice, mate, if you'd have done that. But no, I'm quite happy with that.
But he done and won it anyway.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well done, chap.
I
That
would
was
not
fun.
mind a quiz every week. It's been long enough since the gaffer tapes were off the air that I don't think we'd be stealing it at this point.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
fucking love a quiz.
Yeah.
Admin. But it is then 1-1. So I'll come up with one more quiz for you two before the end of the season.
Nice. I'm really mad at myself for not getting Ashley Cole because I knew that. I
Yeah.
fucking knew that. I can picture the goal. I've watched that DVD so many times.
Fixtures for next week. Game week 29. We are back with all of the teams. Ian, can it be a blank game week? Is that a thing?
It's midweek of this week that we will know more about game week 31 if you're into your FPL. So we'll know which teams go through and which teams will get a blank in game week 31. So don't hold off your transfers until the FA Cup games have gone out of the way, I would, if you've got to plan for game week 31.
Lovely. So, going through the fixtures, a potential banana skin again for Liverpool after they have, I believe, Chelsea in the week, actually. So quite a big week for them. Then we've got Arsenal, West Ham, Palace, Watford. We're fucked.
Yeah, bad time to play them, yeah.
Sheffield United have got Norwich, Southampton, Newcastle, Wolves, Brighton. Burnley, Spurs is the late kickoff on Saturday. Then we've got Chelsea, Everton on Sunday. Man United, Man City. That nothing game. And then Monday night football. Leicester, Aston Villa. A team massively out of sorts against a team massively out of sorts.
Villa did all right in the old, because they had the Carabao Cup final.
Oh, of course, the Carabao Cup was
which
today.
we just haven't talked about it. Major trophy. We just glossed over it completely.
Bring it on.
Oh, City? I'm assuming City was in the final?
Yeah. They scored 2 goals in a minute and that was it. Done.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, here's where my head is at. I saw Leicester Villa on the screen there when I'm looking at the fixtures, and I was like, oh shit, Villa's in the Premier League. That's right. So...
now.
I don't know. So that's not the fixture I'm looking at.
Anyway. Something because it's been a bit of a Brighton bashing affair, this podcast.
For the last 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, no, there was 1 week where I was nice to them.
Were you?
2.
Were you feeling
Yeah.
all right?
There's been a couple, Sometimes, karmically, I just have to get a bit of balance.
Yeah, a little bit of carrot for all the terrible amounts of stick.
All that stick up inside them.
In their hole. Brighton, I think, have got some iffy fixtures coming up. They've got Wolves next, as you said. Then Arsenal, Leicester, Man United. They could be in trouble in the next.
It really didn't
few.
help. Like all of the results went against them this weekend because even Newcastle got a point. Southampton are above them, but lost, and they're kind of a bit too far away. But West Ham won, Watford won, Bournemouth got a point, Norwich won.
Yeah.
Villa have got a game in hand. So if Villa win their game in hand, then Brighton are pretty much in the relegation zone.
Yeah, I think the momentum is not with them. I mean, you hear lots of good things about Graham Potter, but I'm not really sure the players are doing it for him, to be honest.
But that was what was weird watching them play on Saturday was that when it came to the end of the game and they finally put Dan Burn in, they brought Glenn Murray on. They do have a very, very slow team, and it was at that point you were like, right, well, start banging crosses in and make problems for Palace that way, because they've got a huge aerial threat. Their team is massive and not very quick. They would just then kind of shitting themselves and trying to play little intricate passes, and it almost seems like it's trying to go so much away from the way Chris Hughton used to play,
right,
to now playing this way. It's like the two things can't happen. But yeah, I'd be worried if I was Brighton, especially if Watford can make the most of this result after a terrible run of form.
Yeah, and if Watford can shut down Moy and Mopé, then that's really all of Brighton's creative attacking threat. So
yeah, I mean Wolves are playing Brighton, mate, but you've made that mistake once already, so you just carry it on.
Wait, what happened?
Teams that are W's are transient. Watford aren't playing Brighton, it's Wolves, but it is what it is.
You just said Watford.
Yeah, because we were talking about the teams doing well. Come on, Grandpa, wake up. Right, what is the game you're actually looking forward to this week that you know about? Come on, let's spoon feed it to you here.
I mean, it's only the big 6 teams, right? So City, United. I need City to beat United. I need United to stop threatening to catch us. So
Chelsea, Everton should be good. They're similar teams. Everton like a bogey team for you. Are they a team that you always worry about?
They have been in years past, not so much recently.
Okay.
Honestly, like the only thing I'm looking for from Chelsea at this point is Ruben and/or Christian Pulisic.
Yeah.
Like, can we stop running out Mount, Giroud,
No.
and Barkley as our front three, or Mount, Giroud, and Pedro as our front three? The Willian thing is actually really annoying me because clearly he's feuding with Lampard over the contract negotiations. He's pushing because he wants a 3-year extension. Chelsea never gives that long of an extension to people over 30 or the age that he is. And he's like, oh, I'm not signing 2 years. And then Frank is just not playing him, which would be great if we had Pulisic and Callum Hudson-Odoi. But we need Willian in the fucking lineup right now. So that's a little annoying. Be nice to see him play. We'll see what happens on Tuesday also with the Liverpool
I didn't
match.
realise there was any sort of backroom stuff going on with that. That's all passed me by, that. Okay.
Yeah, it's not just Beefy Boy that's full of beef, mate.
Clearly. Well, I'll say Wolves Brighton then. I want to see Beefy Boy beat up on Brighton. A lot of bees there. All the bees.
All the bees. And that's about all we got time for this week. So, thank you very much for listening. Thank you for recording, gentlemen.
Oh, thank you for the quiz, Chuck. Entirely impromptu quiz.
Yeah, more of that, please.
Admin. Say goodbye, Ian.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Say goodbye, Oscar.
Goodbye, Oscar.
And bye-bye from me and the Beefy Boys. Bye-bye.
Oh, I don't like that. Miles Offside is a Nate Whittam production.